When we first met, we were both overweight. Andy spent most of his time in a wheelchair because of sores and problems with his leg. I was very overweight and was very inactive, but we fell in love.
We did, yeah, we did. And I think falling in love and starting that process of a new relationship, we kind of started to eat more unhealthily probably than we did before.
I was starting to get aches and pains. I had a lot of pain in my ankles, in my knees, and all of that was making me feel old before my years, really.
Losing a leg meant that I spent a lot of time in a wheelchair and also spent a certain amount of time on crutches as well.
I've always wanted to run but never been able to, and started running just over a year ago. I've done a couple of races. I absolutely love running. It gives me such a buzz, and my ultimate ambition would be to do the London Marathon. We all go sailing, and it's very family friendly.
After having lost the weight, my results started to improve quite dramatically, and I was then selected to start training with a Paralympic transition squad to start training towards 2012.
I know Slimming World have lots of awards, but this would be the one that I would have wanted if I could have picked it myself, because it meant that we got recognition for doing something together. So thank you very much.
I never bought a pair of shoes with laces. I couldn't do the laces up. Because life had become physically so difficult, you couldn't enjoy life. And so you don't realise that until you get it back. My Slimming World journey was started by my landlady. She was paranoid about finding me dead in bed one day. And when I went to Slimming World and stood on the scales at 29 stone, I realised she had good cause to be concerned. Since the year 2000, I've lived in the west of Ireland and worked in the UK. When you sit on an aeroplane and you're that sort of size, you don't order any food because the table doesn't go down. I now can travel easily. I'd never eat anything I don't enjoy, and I enjoy all of my meals. Now I tend to look for sin-free foods because that means you can eat loads of them. Just look up where the nearest group is, toddle off to it, you will always get a nice welcome. And without fail, I learn something in every class I go to. You have to stay to class if you want to be successful. Nearby to me there's a flight of 108 steps. I'd looked at them before from the top, but I can walk up them now, there's no problem at all. I probably wouldn't be sat here if I hadn't have lost the weight, but I would probably be somewhere across the way there in the ground by now. So that's why it's an emotional thing.
Life before I lost the weight was very, I would say, stressful. I'd have to start getting ready about 4 o'clock if we was going out at 8 because there would be a drama. I realised I needed to lose weight when my husband's jeans didn't fit me. He's got nice chunky legs and my legs were bigger than his, so that was it for me. My whole experience with Slimming World has been absolutely amazing, and winning this title is just, wow. I can't describe it. I'm still on cloud 9 really. Without the group and without Lindsay, I don't think I'd have stuck at it.
The reason that she's been so successful is she's always come to group and she's stayed to image therapy, which is what Slimming World is. And she's got involved with exercise, she walks her dog, she started to run as soon as she felt comfortable enough to do that.
When I found out I'd won Miss Slinky, I went straight out to find a dress to wear, to just go in and pick loads of clothes up and try them all on. It's brilliant. Skinny jeans, hipsters, they're all back and I can wear them all.
Everybody loves her in the group, and when she comes in we all shout, "Here comes Miss Slinky," and she loves it. And I don't think a nicer person could have won the award.
Now I'm at Target, I've never once felt that I need to have a break, because to me I have never been on a diet from the very start to, well, there'll never be an end, because this will just be part of my life now.
I remember somebody saying to me, "You must love food." And I actually sat there and thought, actually, I don't like it. It's like my enemy. It was an awful feeling. If you go into a room, people would move out the way, and it was always more exaggerated than what you really needed to get through. I can remember when I very first started, they said, "What would you like to be?" And I said, "Oh, I'd love to be a size 18. And she said, Jo, what would you really like to be? And I said, well, I'm size 12, but I'll never get there. She said, yes, you will. I actually reached target 8 weeks before I said I'm at target, because I also had to feel like a lot of target members thinking, well, if I say I'm at target, then what happens? One thing I've never forgotten when I joined Slimming World is they promised me they'd be there for always. And, you know, I'm still a member. I get so much from my members every week. They inspire me, and my members and the whole of it has probably kept me at target or within that target. The biggest thing ever was to lose my guilt. Not only have I lost 9 stone, I've lost a huge big monkey sitting on my shoulder who kept poking. He's gone too. I'm never still, but I forget, like, because I've got so much energy now, I forget that actually, Jo, you know, take it easy. You are grandma of 7.
I've had 4 ectopic pregnancies. We had 6 IVF attempts, which all failed. And then I become pregnant naturally. He was an identical twin, but we lost his brother at 16 weeks. So all through the pregnancy, I just carried on comfort eating. By the end of the pregnancy, I weighed nearly 18 stone. At the time, I didn't really realise how big I was because I'd got used to being that big. But it was only when I then tried to go out and buy clothes and then tried to actually do things, I realised I couldn't do it. I'd spent 5 years trying to have my son. I'd now had him, and I couldn't actually look after him. I managed to get to target by attending group each week and staying to group each week, because I feel by staying to group it actually helps you more, and it's actually a really good night out as well. I would actually miss it if I didn't go, and I'm completely confident that while I go to group each week and stay at group that I will always keep the weight off. Since I've got to target, I've actually taken up cycling, and I cycle every week now. Most weeks I clock up 100 miles. Slimming World has given me my life back. I've now got everything to live for. I've got my little boy, and because I've actually lost the weight and become healthy, I'm actually going to be around a lot longer to look after him, because Slimming World has taught me it's about looking after your whole family as well.
Being the weight that I was, 41.5 stone, I mean, there's not a lot you can do. I tried to keep as active as I possibly could, and I'd had some time off due to illness, and you have to have what they call a return to work interview. And when I was having this return to work interview with him, he said, do you think that the reason you've had time off could be down to your weight? And that just totally took me by shock. And I sat there that evening and talked it over with my wife, and I said, no, if I'm going to do this, I want to lose this because of me, not because he wants me to lose weight. When you step into a room that is filled with women, it's the scariest thing you can ever want to do. When you walk into the group now, it's like having 40 wives. I've now lost 25 stone, 1.5 pounds. My activity levels are so much higher. I can do so much more. One of the things I set myself is that I want to be able to start kayaking again. Getting out on the water is just absolutely brilliant. I've just recently finished the 3 Peaks Challenge. Where I am now, I'm happy with that, and I know that with the help of Slimming World, they've got me here and they're going to keep me here. So as long as I'm with them, sky's the limit.
Being 23 stone, almost 23 stone anyway, was just miserable. And when I look back, I didn't realise how sad I really was, you know, because every day was a struggle. My son actually being bullied at school was the worst. Children taking the mick out of him because of me, and I think that was the biggest thing that actually made me get up and do something about it. Truthfully, it hasn't been hard. It's been the best thing I've ever done in my life, you know. It's looking back, I wished I'd done it years and years ago, you know, because the quality of life that I have with my family now is just amazing. You know, my husband says, you know, you're back, you know, the woman that I met is back, you know, and I do really feel like Slimming World has given me another chance, you know, because I feel so much happier in myself and more confident, and everything it's changed everything, absolutely everything. It's amazing. When they said, well, when Ellie Henry announced that I'd won, it was, my legs were shaking. I turned to my consultant Emma, she was crying, and oh my God, I actually won, you know. It was, because I never thought in a million years I was going to win. I can't thank Slimming World enough. I can't. I don't think they realise, you know, how much it means to people like us, you know. You are part of something, you know, you feel that's where you belong, you know. That's how it is for me anyway.